I finally got my first Audiolab, and I would like to share with you what I discovered. I always want to test an Audiolab, and I need something around 70 watt, still affordable, so the 7000 series was just perfect. Not an entry level like the 6000 and not as expensive as the 9000. So let's speak about it. The 7000A is a British integrated amplifier with DAC in the mid-fi segment, let's say like that. And as far I know, is designed in UK and produced in China. And actually Audiolab belong to the Chinese IAG, International Audio Group, that includes many brands like Wharfdale, Mission, Leak, if I'm not wrong, also Laxman, and many more, and was founded by two brothers passionate as us of high-end hi-fi stereo reproduction that basically saved all these brands by acquiring them, which probably wouldn't have survived without IEG. And that's something really interesting because almost all brands are part of a group. Just take a look of Massimo Consumer, for example, that has Denon, Marantz, Bowen Wilkins, and many more. Macintosh Group was Macintosh Group that had Sonus Faber and, if I'm not wrong, yes, Sumiko right now, and also was purchased by, now I don't remember the name. By the way, many brands are part of group today. I think it's just not easy today to be alone out there. There is much competitions. Let me know what you think about it in descriptions, please, below. The 7000 series include three components: the integrated DAC that we are going to review today with a retail price around 1,300 euro. Then we have the network player, the 7000N, and the CD drive, the 7000 CDT. It's available in two finishes and is coming with this slim fit design that I like it so much. I really love it. And combine it with this bright display that offer also satisfying graphical analog and digital VO meter is adding a touch of modern look not easy to find in this retail price. Menu system is full of function and I found myself navigate into it better through the remote control. I found that there are many knobs. They could just easily let two knobs instead three. It's a chunky remote control plastic, but the front is alu if I'm not wrong. Look like alu, yes. And yeah, is fine. It has everything really you needed to control the integrated amplifier. And actually you can choose also if you will purchase the network player or the CD player to just use one remote control to control everything. The 7000A is not connected to internet, but is offering a firmware upgrade via USB, so please check the website for the last firmware available. There are the instructions. I downloaded the firmware in the USB, just plug it in the 7000A and you have just to follow the instructions and will ask you for a reboot and you will have the last firmware on your 7000A, really easy. On the top we can find a ventilations area, but the integrated amplifier work really cool. And I measured a temperature around 30 degrees. Also when I connected to my Serafino, I pushed it, I cranked up the volumes and was running just cool, so absolutely no problem. On the back we can find an unusual power in and binding post on the right location. So generally when I placed any integrated amplifier, I have, looking the amp from the front, I have socket and binding post or in the center, the binding post, or on the left side. So this times was on the right. Yeah, that's really an UK amplifier. By the way, absolutely not a problem, but the binding posts are really cheap. I really don't like them, and when I plug my speaker cable, any speaker cables, half of the plug remain outside, something that I really don't like. So definitely they could place a better binding post. Then we have Bluetooth antenna, USB update as I told you, digital inputs, pre-out for the subwoofer, all analog input, and also a moving magnet phono that I will speak about just in a moment. So it has its own DAC, so digital to analog conversions. That's meaning you can purchase an external streamer and use the internal DAC of the Audiolab 7000A. That is a ES Sabre 9038 Q2M, if I'm not wrong, something like that. So it's pretty good on the paper, at least on the specs. I test both input, the Bluetooth one and the internal DAC, compared also with the Win Pro Plus DAC. I'm not really a fan of the Bluetooth technology. I know that now is coming a new technology that is lossless, but on such a device like that, I mean, if you spend this money, it's fine for start, you know, your listening as soon you take a better digital to analog converter. But yeah, I really don't like it. I mean, it's okay, let's say like that. And regarding the internal DAC, also comparing with the Win Pro Plus, the Win Pro Plus was superior in terms of textures and resolutions. It get his job done. You can use it as soon you got something better. Also something like the Win Pro Plus DAC, it will be not night and day difference, but there is a difference in terms of imaging, clearness, textures, soundstage. There is a difference. As specs, we have a class AB integrated amplifier with 70 watt in 8 ohms. There is a beautiful toroidal transformer inside, and everything looks just really clean and well assembled. By the way, the trafo is incredibly pitch black. I mean, I didn't hear it once, so something really to take it in considerations. Generally here, also with 5005K integrated amplifier, I have a little bit of noise coming out from the toroidal, mechanical noise. On the Audiolab, nothing, dead silent, so really well done. 70 watt, enough power to drive almost any speaker. And actually I tested with the new Q Acoustic new entry in MaiA Audio Studio, the 5040, just check the review. I will let it down below. 7000A, that is an integrated amplifier, but it could function also as preamp or power amplifier if you would like to use your front speaker in both home theater and in stereo listening. So nice to see that with one knob you can switch between these three modalities. We call these functions in other integrated amplifier is called sometimes home theater bypass. Probably you heard already about it. So something really cool. And I also test the HDMI ARC. Remember to set your TV in PCM, otherwise you will not hear anything, or probably you will hear some noise. And in home theater, the dialogue, I used the 5040, the Q Acoustic, was so incredibly clear. The voice were full of presence, and I got a solid bass, well extended, coming out from the speaker. Of course, if you had a subwoofer is another story, but I really enjoyed also in this no subwoofer configuration. As setup, I used the Win Pro Plus with the RME AD2 DAC, because I told you already in the Q Acoustic review probably that I like these configurations because it's an affordable streamer. But the problem is that the DAC sections of the Win Pro Plus is could be slightly bright or energetic. And I have also another DAC streamer that is the Cambridge Audio MX-N10 that is, in my opinion, a little bit colored and forwarded. So generally when I test something here in MaiA Audio Studio, I try to use something that is pretty neutral, and the RME audio to DAC is incredibly neutral. And as speaker, I used not only the 5040 but also Sonetto 1, Rotel Evo 4.1 and the beautiful Pro-Ject Box 5 S2. So how was the 7000A performing? Well, with the 5040, the 7000A delivered an accurate reconstructions of the sound scene, an amp always able to exhibit a gentle and pleasant tonality, especially when listening at moderate volume. Beautiful mid-range nuance, really good transparency and textures that combining with this spacious sound made my room feel bigger than it is. It's an area amplifier, but I never got sibilance problem. Extended but never fatigue. Presence on vocal but never forwarded. A really well balanced amplifier. Acoustic instrument especially sounds really sweet, transparent and engaging. Is refined, is full of life, and despite having a warm and rich bass, was always clean and pretty defined on the 5040 from Acoustic. And I got different results, especially on bottom end when I powered the ELAC DFR52. Bass was punchy, a little bit soft around edges, and too warm, was just too warm and sometimes muddy. I mean, Andrew Jones speaker are pretty dark, right? And with the 7000A, I didn't like the combo. Different story when I moved to the Sonetto 1. I love the Sonetto 1. I got this solid, consistent bass, perfect for rock when you need to hear the drums, and for a EDM also without subwoofer was wow, unbelievable. So the 7000A is able to, with this warm bottom end, because it's pretty colored on the bottom end, just to make every speaker sound more funny. You will get this flawless musicality, delicacy on top end, a deep and plentiful bass, and moving on top end will give you this engaging presentation. A sort of V-shaped tonality, I mean, a little bit colored on the bass, a little bit colored on the top end, but is really extended, engaging, but I never got fatigueness problem. That's really important to say. I also compared the 7000A with the Musical Fidelity M3SI that was slightly superior in dynamic and attack, especially on drums. You got this quick attack and power that the Audiolab 7000A, these things is slightly more laid back. And I noticed it immediately in orchestra crescendo, for example. The 7000A is definitely not muscular as the M3SI and doesn't have the authority of the another amplifier that we review on this channel, that is the Cambridge Audio CX81, that will give you a more fuller experience, but if I'm not wrong, is also more expensive. Where 7000A is superior is ability to find nuance and micro details in any track, and is not an amplifier that is forwarded like the CX81. With ELAC definitely lack a little bit of grip in the bass and authority compared with the more tighter and really gripped presentations of the M3SI. And I'm not finished, I tested also with the Pro-Ject Box 5 S2 that I told you this is the speaker of the year 2023 for me, is absolutely wonderful. And this little speaker also with the 7000A sound so alive. I got a so luminous stage, good imaging and a beautiful glow that remind me, I'm not joking, the Musical Fidelity A1, the Class A Musical Fidelity A1 that also we just reviewed. And in the end with the Rotel Evo, also there I got a beautiful tight bass, I really enjoy it, but something didn't work on the mid-range, for example, where voices and instrument were a little bit undertone. In some music genre were not really shining, let's say like that. I missed a little bit of mid-range, was too laid back. Probably sign that this sort of, let's say, V-shape of 7000A didn't help. And then I had to crank up a little bit more the volume, ending up having a top end that was, too much energetic. Not bright, but pretty spicy. Was not a problem of all music genre, but for example, listening Dominic Miller, it sounds really fantastic. Guitar was really wonderful. But then moving on something more jazz with sax, trumpet, I found this instrument little bit dark, and especially on complex music, pop music, music that is not really well recorded, a little bit compressed probably. When a lot of things are going on with a lot of instruments, it's all become pretty congested. All this for tell you that matching a good speaker with the 7000A is something important, so Ilac and Wardell didn't perform as I want to with the 7000A, where Pro-Ject, Sonetto 1 or 5040, where especially the Sonetto 1 was an amazing combo. I also test the Phono stage by connecting my Orgon Audio TT4 fitted with the Orthophone 2M Blue, review available in descriptions if you are interested in beautiful, affordable combination. And I compared the Phono stage of the Audiolab 7000A with another affordable device that I love, that is the hi-fi Phono. Zen Phono is affordable, is compact, and will really elevate your entry-level setup to the next level. But I was performing. Well, with the Phono stage of the 7000A, I got a little bit of noise floor that was coming out through the speaker, you know, when you're going really closer to the tweeter, for example, and the woofer too. Let's say pretty not audible from a listening position. And here I got, let's say, a bold and big presentation, especially on instruments, voices, soundstage, all sounds really big. Moving on the hi-fi Phono stage, I got a better technical performance, less noise floor, all was more clean, more refined, and more precise. So there is a big difference going with an external, also affordable, like the hi-fi Zen Phono. It's get his job done, as I said. The internal Phono of the 7000A is get his job done, but moving to something like the Zen Phono, it will improve drastically your experience. I forget to say that the 7000A is features also a 6.3 output for your headphones. And I tested with two headphones. One I already reviewed, is the Sennheiser 660S2, and the other one is the Ananda Nano that just arrived for test. And I compared the headphones output with the RME Adi2 DAC, that is one, let's say, my reference headphones output under 1000 euro. Ananda Nano on the 7000A was pretty warm, beautiful warm bottom end. Overall performance was not as technical as the RME, but really natural and smooth. RME that was more transparent and clear, but I really like these smooth, natural presentations of the 7000A. So I really enjoy it, and I think the Edition 6S will work also really great with, or the Sundara Open will work really great with the 7000A. And moving to something high impedance like the Sennheiser, for example, I didn't enjoy it so much on the 7000A. Like a little bit of clarity, was everything a little bit muddy. I didn't get the textures that I was looking for, where with the RME I got a bigger soundstage and the mid-range was much cleaner. So I don't want to say that high impedance is not a good partner of the 7000A, because of course tested only with one headphones, you can say something like that. But yeah, I end up to prefer the hi-fi Man on the 7000A. Overall, a good headphones output performance. So in the end, the additions of HDMI ARC, DAC, subwoofer output, Bluetooth connectivity, home theater bypass, display with VU meter are a big deal in this price range category. I really like the warm bottom end that colored all my speaker, make it more funny to listen. And combine it with the beautiful nuance on the mid-range with a lively top end that, yes, will require a good match as we saw, but when done will give you a lot of fun. So Audiolab here, well done. I really enjoy the 7000A. And this was my review. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please let me know if you have it, what you think about it in the comment below. And as always, hit the like buttons and take in consideration to subscribe to my channels to support my work. Peace and see you soon.